Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have for you my March week 4 reading vlog. March 25th, and I wasn't really planning on vlogging this week because it is the week that I do my wrap-up, and I generally don't vlog that same week, but I'm missing vlogging. Like, I really like vlogging, and I'm missing doing it, so I figured might as well do it. Whether I post it or not, we'll see what happens. My unwrapped book this week is The Ring and the Crown by Melissa De La Cruz. I have read to page 75, and I honestly, like, while I'm reading this book, I enjoy what I'm reading. It kind of gives me similar vibes to the Selection series. Not as good. I'm just not in this kind of mood right now. I think if I was in this kind of mood, I would enjoy this one a lot more. I think the world building in this book is actually relatively good compared to other YA fantasies. I'm just not in the mood for it. So I get one save per month, and this is one of the books that I feel like it is my kind of book. I'm not feeling YA fantasy right now, like at all. Like, I'm struggling through Children of Blood and Bone right now, but I will finish it. Like, I am determined to finish it, but I'm struggling through it, and I just don't need another one like putting my mood down. I'm gonna DNF this one, but it's gonna be my save for the month. I don't remember what other books I read this month. I'm hoping that I don't want to save any of the other books because I think I'm gonna end up saving this one. I'll let you guys know during my wrap up, but I'm pretty sure this one's gonna end up being my save for the month. That being said, I am in a high fantasy mood. Like, I want a good high fantasy that I could just dive into and live in that world for a little while. So I think it's time for Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. This is the third book in the Life of Traders trilogy. I think it's time. I'm pretty sure this is gonna end up being a 5-star book. Like, pretty confident in it. I just want to dive back into this world, and I'm really excited for it. So I'm vlogging The Realm of the Elderlings separately from my regular vlogs, so you guys won't be seeing any more of this book during this vlog, but I'm excited for this. Audiobook wise, I did finish an audiobook today. I finished China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I enjoyed Crazy Rich Asians a lot. I ended up giving Crazy Rich Asians 4 stars. That was earlier this year. And China Rich Girlfriend, I just wasn't as into the story as I was with Crazy Rich Asians. There's only really 2 characters in this book that I like, and there's a lot of characters that you follow in this series, and I only like Astrid and Rachel. And Rachel's story, until the very end, was not very interesting to me. So the only character I was actually looking forward to was Astrid the entire time, and there are a ton of characters that we follow. So most of the book I was just kind of like meh about. So I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It's still a good book. It just wasn't necessarily the book for me. I still plan on listening to the audiobook for Rich People Problem. If I'm feeling like similar to that one as I did to this one, I'll probably end up DNFing that one because I don't want to waste my time on something that is just going to be like lukewarm. I want it to be really good. So yeah. After I finished China Rich Girlfriend, I decided to start Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I got this book off of hold. I've had this book on hold for like 3 months now. It's a nonfiction audiobook. It's fascinating. It's like science related, specifically the science of sleep, and it's super fascinating. Like, I'm definitely rethinking how many hours of sleep I get at night, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not that far into it, but I'm like maybe 30% of the way into it, so I'm pretty sure I'll finish it at work tomorrow, and I'm really excited to do that. Like, I'm having a hard time putting it down right now, even though I'm really in a high fantasy mood. So I'm gonna read some Ship of Destiny, and I will get back to you guys in the morning. Hey guys, it's Wednesday, March 27th. I've decided that I'm not gonna keep The Ring and the Crown. I'm just not interested in it. I thought I might be interested in it because of the magic seems interesting and like the political situation seems interesting. I don't feel like the book is going in that direction. I feel like it's going in a different direction, which I won't like. And I've read enough books similar to this one that I just don't want to waste my time with another book that I probably will not end up liking. I'm going to end up unhauling this one, which makes me a little sad, but at the same time, like, that's the whole point of my last chance shelf and my Wrapped books is to see which books really need to be culled from my shelves so I can get new books that I'm more excited for that I will enjoy reading. Yesterday I finished Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. It took me like 2.5 weeks to finish this book, considering the fact that I picked it up pretty consistently every day that I've been reading this book. That is a really long time, especially for a YA book. Most YA books I can finish within 2 to 3 days. Some of them, like the recent ones that I've read, I finished them in 1 to 2 days. Like Curse So Dark and Lonely, I finished in 1 day. Crown of Feathers, I finished in 2 days. So it made me really sad that it took me this long to get through this one. It was just because I was really struggling with the characters. For me, this is a really great story in idea. In concept phase, this is a really great story. It leaves a lot to be desired as an actual book though. Like a lot of people talk about how, oh, the romance was disappointing. And yes, the romance was disappointing, but as an idea, the romance is not a bad idea. It just wasn't executed well, in my opinion. I don't like the romance at all. There were 2 romances in this, by the way, and neither of them I actually felt invested in. And I think part of that is because all the characters felt more like sketches than real people, and I don't know. I just really did not enjoy this book as much as I wanted to. I ended up giving it 2 stars, even though I did like the ending. I think the ending was really good. I also really liked the audiobook. The audiobook was really good. So I am considering reading Children of Vengeance and Virtue when it comes out, but I'm probably not gonna buy it like I bought this one because I was really excited for this book and it was just such a letdown. And this morning I finished an audiobook, Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. It's a nonfiction audiobook about sleeping and how it affects the way we think and feel and are able to process information and different things like that. And I found it so fascinating. I think it was so intriguing, and it was really kind of an eye-opener on how sleep deprived some people actually are and how that could affect your life. It was very informative, very well written. I really enjoyed it. There's an appendix at the end with like 12 steps on how to improve your sleep efficiency. I recently changed, not recently, like 2 years ago now, I recently changed my jobs, and my previous job I didn't have a whole lot of time, so I slept whenever I had time to sleep. I didn't try to do anything, but since I got the new position I have more time, so I've been doing things to improve my sleep since then, just like instinctively based on what I felt helped me sleep better. And I was surprised by how many of the things that I do help me sleep better actually have scientifically proven concepts as to why it actually helps you sleep better. So I thought that was really interesting. I found it really helpful and insightful, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 5 stars. Today I'm going to try and dedicate the day to reading. There are a few books that I'm trying to finish before the end of the month, and I've been easily distracted by other things for a while. So today I'm gonna try and read quite a bit of them. I have like pretty much all day to do whatever I want today, so I'm gonna be doing that. 2 of them are for read-alongs for the BookTube SFF Awards. The first one is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I have the audiobook for it. I just started it this morning, and so far, surprisingly, I'm really liking the audiobook. I wasn't really expecting to because I've heard really great hyped reviews of this and then really lower reviews of The Cruel Prince, and I'm really excited for it now. I listened to like the first 2 chapters on the audiobook so far this morning, and I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'm definitely gonna make a lot of progress on The Cruel Prince today. I might even finish it. And the other book that I'm really hoping to read this week is The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is the other read-along for the BookTube SFF Awards. This is a book that I've actually had my eye on for a while, and I'm really excited to get to it because it is an alternate history about lady astronauts, which is just really cool, and I'm really excited for it. Before I get to that one though, I do finally want to finish Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. I've kind of put this one on hold because of all the things that I've been doing this month. I've read a lot of books this month, like a lot of books, which you'll see in my wrap-ups that are coming out this week. I'm not very far into Caliban's War. Every time I pick this up, I'm like so into it. I just haven't gotten the time to actually like sit down and read it because of all the other books that I've been trying to read. So I'm gonna be dedicating most of today to Caliban's War. I have the physical book. I do have the audiobook. I haven't opened the audiobook yet, so I may decide to switch between the 2 if I really want to do that, but I really do want to read the physical book for this one because I definitely really enjoy reading the physical book as I'm reading it. And the other 2 books that I'm reading this week that I'm hoping to finish before the end of March are Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin and Ship of Destiny. Those aren't really that much priorities to me. If I end up carrying those over to April, I'm completely fine with it. So I'm about halfway through with The Cruel Prince. And yes, I have a physical book of it now because I was enjoying the audiobook so much, but I knew I would enjoy the physical book more than the audiobook just because it's the type of book that I prefer to read as a physical book rather than an audiobook. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I generally prefer YA books as physical books rather than audiobooks, and I generally prefer high fantasy, which is high fantasy, as physical books rather than audiobooks. I had only gotten the audiobook because I hadn't planned on buying this book, but it was so good in the first like 5 or 6 chapters that I was like, I have to buy this book. I have to buy this book. I got to like chapter 14 and I went to Books A Million and bought this book, like full price, everything. I didn't even try and get like the discounted prices that you get on Amazon or anything because I would have to wait till tomorrow, and I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. I wanted to read it now, and I'm right there halfway through it. It's fantastic. I love all of the stuff that's happening in it. I like the sort of romance, not the one you're thinking of, but the other one that I don't think is a thing yet, but I'm thinking will become a thing. It's hard to say things without making spoilers, but yes, loving that aspect of it. I really like her relationship with Prince Dane and what has just happened, because I'm on like the part where it becomes book 2 is amazing. And I think I know how it's gonna end, and I think I like how it's gonna end, but I don't know. I'm really enjoying this one though. I didn't expect to, and I'm really enjoying this one. So I'm actually really, really happy about this. I loved it so much. I think I was saying earlier in this vlog, when I really like YA high fantasy, I'll finish it over the course of like a day or two. Single day, started it today, finished it today. Absolutely loved it. It was so good. I really want to pick up The Wicked King right now. Like, I really want to pick up The Wicked King right now. I would have bought it if it was available at Books A Million. It's not. They only had 2 copies of The Cruel Prince and no Wicked Kings, or else I would have already bought it today. But I think I might buy it from Amazon and have them ship it to me tomorrow because I really want it if it's available. I don't know if it'll be available for same day shipping. I do get same day in my area, but I don't know if that one will be available. But yeah, I kind of really want it. I don't know. I don't want to buy a hardcover when I have a paperback of The Cruel Prince, but it was so good. I cannot wait for the next one. It reminds me a lot of Court of Thorns and Roses, but like 100 times better. Maybe not 100 times better. Not a Court of Thorns and Roses specifically, just the series. It has some of the same tropes and stuff like that with fairies, and I think I like fairies now, which I never did before, but I really, really enjoyed this. It's so action-packed. I love like the character relationships in this. I also really like the characters. I like all the characters, and I think that's what really made this book for me, is I like the characters. Like the main character specifically, I really liked her, and I liked like her whole plot and everything. Oh, it was so good. I loved everything about it. I think I'm gonna have to give it 5 stars. Yeah. So it's Thursday, March 28th. Last night I finished Gregor and the Prophecy of Bane. This is one of the rereads that I'm doing like 30 minutes a night before I go to bed. It's just to help me fall asleep. But I found that I've really been enjoying rereading books. So I think I'm gonna add that to one of like my goals, to reread 2 books a month. And that'll be in addition to the audiobooks that I'm reading, because I enjoyed rereading like for the rereadathon this month. So I want to reread more because I used to always reread. I used to love rereading. Actually, I kind of only reread for a really long time. Now I've been reading a lot of newer books, but I really miss rereading. So I'm gonna start rereading books more, because I think I reread like 9 books this month and I really enjoyed it. Most of them were on audio, mind you, but I really, really enjoyed rereading this month. So I'm gonna continue that trend for the rest of the year. But I finished Gregor and the Prophecy of Bane. I started Gregor and the Curse of the Warm Bloods, and I had a really hard time not continuing it today when I woke up, because I'm just like really into the story right now. It's one of my favorite middle Middle Gate Fantasies, I get so like deep into the story that I just forget everything else around me while I read this series. I had to stop myself from continuing listening to it this morning. It's my nighttime reading. It's for me to actually fall asleep. But yeah, I'm probably gonna finish that one pretty soon also. So I have to decide soon what audiobooks I'm gonna get afterwards so that I can continue listening to them at night. I'm thinking the Wheel of Time series because I did Harry Potter. I'm on the Underlane Chronicles now. So the only other one that's like in my top 10 that I really want to reread would be, I mean, there's A Song of Ice and Fire, but I recently reread those the end of last year. It's been a really long time since I've reread the Wheel of Time series, and I've heard the audiobook narrators for the Wheel of Time series are really good. So I'm thinking about starting the Wheel of Time series. It would take me forever to finish it though, but I think that might be a good thing. So yeah, I'm thinking after I finish the Underlane Chronicles, I'll go to the Wheel of Time series. I also am considering the Night Circus, but I reread that one recently also, so probably the Wheel of Time series. But I think before I do that, I'll read the prequel book because I haven't read the prequel book yet, and I own the prequel book, so I'm excited for that. For most of today, I've been reading Caliban's War. I've read a good bit of it physically, but I also listened to the audiobook a lot while I was running errands, and when I went for my walk earlier this morning, I've gotten pretty far into it. I'm more than halfway through it now. I'm on chapter 35. I've been trying to vlog this separately. The problem is I just don't have anything much to say in the vlog. Like it's not that it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's just, it's a lot of action, and there's really not that much to say about action without just giving the plot away, which is just no fun. I like to talk more about like character development, or if they're like mysteries and like conspiracy theories that I have, but like there's really not that much. It's like action, or even like I like talking about world building. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. And there is a good amount of world building. This series has such a wide scope that it's incredible how narrowly focused the plot is in this series, because there are 4 main point of view characters. There's Holden, which is one of the characters from the last book, Leviathan Wakes, and then there are 3 new point of view characters. There's Abasarala, Bobby, who is a female Marine, by the way, so you know, and Prax, who is a scientist. So Abasarala is a politician, Bobby the female Marine, and Prax, who is a botanist who just lost his child. So they're going to look for his child, is basically the whole plot of this, which it's incredible. It's so fast paced. There's so much action. I absolutely love it. Every time I pick up this book, I want to go and watch the TV show because I can see this being an amazing TV show. Like I can just picture it being an amazing TV show. So like I will get to the TV show eventually, but I want to read the entire series first. I'm really far into this one though. I'm hoping that I can finish this one today. It's not that much left, so I can definitely finish it today. And I've been pretty much focusing on this one. I do have The Wicked King showing up a little bit later, as well as like a few other books, because I kind of I bought a few books and then I did a book outlet order. So yeah, I'm actually gonna put myself on a book buying ban for the month of April because I'm just buying way too many books, not including any pre-orders that I did, but I'm just not gonna allow myself to buy any books in the month of April. I will be doing another book haul soon with all of the books that I just got, because I got a book outlet order, right? I went to Books A Million twice, and I ordered twice from Amazon also. So yeah, I bought a lot of books. And there was 4 books that I did in my last vlog that I didn't do in my last haul, so I'll include those 4 books as well. I think I'm just gonna order a couple more things before my book buying ban, because there are things that I think I could get to in the month of April and will want to get to in the month of April, and I don't want to give myself any reasons to like break the band. So what I think I'll do, instead of making the band like time-wise, I think it'll be, I'll have to read a certain number of books, not just any number, but like of specific books. Like I'll make a list of like 30 specific books that I have to read before I can buy any more new ones. I think that's the best way to do it. Yep, that's what I'll do. So there are a couple of things that I want to buy before I do that. One is book 4 in Malazan Book of the Fallen, House of Chains, because I have 1 through 3 and I have 5, and I plan on starting that series next month. So if I'm really into it, there's a good chance I'll end up getting to book 4. So I'm gonna buy book 4. I mean, book 4 is kind of far into the series to get to, but you never know when I'm gonna actually like take off the band. I'll buy book 4, and then I want to buy the rest of Full Metal Alchemist, because I got most of it, but there's like 2 volumes at the end that I don't have yet. 2, maybe 3 or something like that. And those I go through really fast when I actually sit down and do them. And I really like the series right now, and I really want to get back into into it, there's a good chance that I could just go and binge read that entire series. So I want to have them available for me if I decide to do that. But other than those 2 purchases, I'm gonna be going on a book buying ban completely. I'm gonna make a list of 30 books. Of those 30 books, I have to read all 30 of those books before I can go off the ban. So that's what I'm gonna do, because these goals are actually like making me super productive, even though like they're all books that I've really wanted to read. Like, for example, Caliban's War. I have been trying to finish this book for like 2 months now, and it is so much fun. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. It's probably gonna be, if not a 5-star book, at least a 4.5-star book, and I don't know why I haven't done it. Part of the reason is half the fun in reading a book, I don't know, like maybe not half the fun. A good portion of anticipating reading a book is trying to figure out whether I'll end up liking the book or not. And with Caliban's War, as well as like some of the other books that I like hesitate going towards, like The Realm of the Elderlings and stuff like that, I already know I'm gonna enjoy it. I know I'm gonna like it. So I'm just kind of like, oh, I'll like it, but just not right now. Let me see these other books that maybe I won't like. I don't know. It's kind of masochistic in a way, because like I read books that I'm not sure about, but at the same time, I'm more anticipating reading them because I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna like them, so that there's a good chance, I don't know. Yeah, so like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, I'm enjoying the book. I really, really like it. It hesitates to make me want to read the next one just because I know I'm gonna like it and I don't want to get so much closer to the end, maybe? Maybe that's what it is. But then again, I could always just reread the books because I'm rereading books now. So maybe I'll be more likely to actually read the books that I really want to read. I don't know. We will see. By James S.A. Corey. It was so good. I enjoyed it so much. There were like times when I was just kind of like, this is only action scenes, but then like it would get to other parts and I'm just like, oh, the character development here is so good and the world building is fantastic. I was honestly thinking it was going to be a 4.5-star book until the last chapter. Then the last chapter happened and the epilogue, and I was like, ah, you can't leave me like that. You can't leave me like that. I really want to go on and read Abaddon's Gate right now. Like, after having just read that, I really, really want to pick up Abaddon's Gate. But I don't plan, like in my reading plan, to pick up Abaddon's Gate till the end of April. That's when I'm supposed to be picking up Abaddon's Gate, because there's a lot of books that I want to read in between now and then, and I might pick it up earlier because this one left me wanting more. Like, it left me wanting so much more. Like, in a good way, mind you. In a good way, but definitely left me wanting more. I don't think this one is as good as Leviathan Wicks. I think this one is not as good as Leviathan Wicks, but at the same time, it's still fantastic. So I've been debating on picking up Abaddon's Gate, even though there's quite a few books I want to read before then. This guy showed up at my door today. I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am for this one. Well, obviously you do have an idea because like I hadn't planned to buy this one in hardcover nonetheless, but I love The Cruel Prince that much that I just had to get this one. I'm a little bit disappointed because the announcement for the third book in the series came out. It's called Queen of Nothing and it's coming out January of next year. And I read the summary on Goodreads, not even the whole summary. I read like the first 2 sentences of the summary on Goodreads and it spoils the ending for Wicked King. Oh my gosh. It made me so angry when I read it because I already know what happens at the end of Wicked King now. But I'm still super excited to read it. So I'm gonna probably read this tonight. I should be filming my April TBR right now, but it's not gonna happen because I'm gonna read Wicked King first. It's also really, really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it too much. I don't mind vlogging when it's loud like this. There's like a football game going on in my backyard right now and my upstairs neighbors are like doing karate or something. I prefer not to do like my regular videos when it's loud. I'll probably film tomorrow morning and it'll come out like mid-morning instead of 7 a.m. like how it normally does. But yeah, I'm gonna be reading Wicked King instead because that's really what I want to do right now. Wicked King by Holly Black. I read it in one night. Yes, I really loved it. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So one of the things that you guys will learn about me right now is that I'm trash for the Can't Tell Lies trope. So basically their word binds them to whatever they want. So like if they say something, then they have to do it, which is like, it's a fairy thing basically, but it's in other books. Like for example, in the Inheritance Cycle, I think is the first time I've ever seen the Can't Tell Lies trope, when they speak in the, I think it's the ancient language or something like that. They can't tell lies in the ancient language. So anything you say in that language is binding, and it's basically, it's magically binding, and you can't like lie about something that you've done in the past. In this series, the Fae can't tell lies, which is very interesting, which is really good in The Cruel Prince, but it's amazing in The Wicked King. Like I absolutely loved it. Like ever since the Inheritance Cycle, I did not know that I was looking for this, but I was looking for this in a book. I was looking for them to do the Can't Tell Lies trope in a good way, because what's interesting about it is when you can't tell lies but are still like politically manipulative and secretive and things like that, you still have to find a way around it. So they word things in interesting ways. You have to like try and figure out what these characters mean, even though what they're saying, you know, is honest. Like they're saying the truth or what they believe to be the truth, but you know they don't mean what they're saying, if that makes sense. You have to figure out what they actually mean, which is just done really incredibly in this one. And I absolutely loved it. Even though I was spoiled for the ending, I don't know if I would have seen it coming. Every other thing in these two books, like I pretty much guessed before it happened. I was okay with it though. I'm okay with guessing things before they happen, as long as they still occur in a very interesting way. I like watching it unfold, especially when I already know what's gonna happen. I like watching it unfold anyway. And the ending of this one, I actually didn't guess on my own. Let's put it that way. I don't know if I would have guessed it. I might have guessed it beforehand, because there are enough clues to guess it beforehand. I was spoiled for it because of the whole thing where the third book summary spoils you for this book. Yeah, don't read that on Goodreads. Please don't do it. Go read these two books first. I'm really happy with how this turned out. The romance in this is so good. Like, it's a very good will they, won't they. And the reason why it's so good is because you literally do not know if they will or they won't. Like, you don't know. You don't know. And it's so, like, deceptive, and it was so much fun to read. Like, I already want to go back and reread these. I probably will end up rereading these books, if not later this year, then early next year, because they're so good, and I cannot wait for the third one. Like, I am so excited for it. I also really like that the author is like really not scared of doing horrible things to her characters. Like, I have to hand it to Holly Black, because she really goes some, like, she can be cruel to her characters, and I love it. I love pretty much all the characters in this book too. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any characters I don't like. I think I like all of them. And they're not like, I like them as people. Like, I don't like them as people. I like them as characters, and it's fantastic. I love the Fae. I love that they're like not human in certain ways. Like, you can especially tell like with Locke that he's not like completely human, because like, sorry, I was gonna do spoilers. I'm not gonna go into spoilers. Really enjoyed these two so far. Definitely new favorites of mine. I definitely thought that Crown of Feathers would be the best YA book that I read this month. And The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King have definitely changed that around. So I'm really happy about that. And I think, like, I'm really glad that I ended up liking The Cruel Prince, because The Cruel Prince is a very hyped book. Like, I've been starting to get a little like iffy about hyped books, because a lot of times like I'll read them and then they're like not good at all, even though everyone else seems to like them. I'm like really glad that I ended up liking The Cruel Prince, because I have like more faith in hyped books now. I don't know. That's weird. Anyways, so I finished The Wicked King last night. It was really late. I put it on Goodreads that I finished it, so you guys can go check what time that was. I started last night continuing on with the audiobook of Gregor and the Curse of the Warnbloods. When I woke up this morning, I only had like an hour left of it, so I decided to finish it because I was just like surprisingly really into it, even though I had just finished The Wicked King. So I listened to the rest of the audiobook for Gregor and the Curse of the Warnbloods this morning, which is a reread for me. I really enjoyed it. I am really excited to start the next one, which is Gregor and the Mark of Secret, which I will be doing tonight. Those audiobooks, by the way, are only like 6 hours, and I read them at 1.75 speed, mostly because the audiobook narrator kind of annoys me a little bit, and the faster I read it, the less he annoys me. That's really the only reason. I'm not trying to rush through them or anything, but he doesn't annoy me when I listen to them at higher speeds, which is why I'm doing that. So I'm finishing them like really, really quickly, because I think Gregor and the Prophecy Brain I finished 2 nights ago or something like that. But anyways, really, really enjoyed it. One of my favorite of the Underland Chronicles. The next one, The Marks of Secret, I remember being really, really good. So I'm super excited to get to that one. The other audiobook that I started yesterday after I finished, I don't even remember which audiobook I finished last. Whatever audiobook I finished yesterday, I started a new audiobook. Oh, it was The Cruel Prince, my bad. That was my last audiobook. I started The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So this is the first book in the Wayfarers trilogy. The third book in the Wayfarers trilogy, A Record of a Spaceborne Few, is being nominated for a BookTube SFF Award for Best Sci-Fi Book, and I haven't read any of the books in the series, and I've wanted to, so I decided I would read it for the read-alongs. The read-along for the third one is in May, but I have to read the first 2 first, so that's why I started this one. I was really hoping to finish it in March. I might still finish it in March. I have like 3 days or something like that. I'm not enjoying it as much as I wanted to. I really, really wanted to enjoy this one. I'm not that far into it. Like, I'm like 10% into it, the audiobook or something like that. I haven't checked what page I am on the book yet. I don't know if I will read the physical copy of this one at all. Usually if I have a physical book, I like to go between the two. I do have other physical books right now that I'm trying to finish for the end of March, so I might just listen to the audiobook of this one rather than read the physical copy. And also partially because I'm not enjoying the audiobook as much as I wanted to, and it's not because it's bad. Everyone talks about the series as being wholesome, and I completely get it now. Yes, it is definitely wholesome in certain ways. I know not everyone would consider it wholesome because they talk about like sex videos and stuff like that in a way that's like completely normal, in the way that like we as a society wouldn't talk about it now. In other ways, it's completely wholesome because everyone is so accepting of different species and things like that that makes it more wholesome. I'm interested in it. The part that I was just listening to, I'm really interested in it because it talks a little bit about the science behind space travel, which for those of you who don't know, I went to school for aerospace engineering because I'm really interested in space travel and those sort of things. Not like actually doing it, obviously. I'm not working in that field right now. I was interested in studying it, and I'm interested in sci-fi because of that. By the way, yes, I'm new to sci-fi books, but I've watched a lot of sci-fi movies and TV shows in the past. While I'm still getting used to sci-fi as in book form, I am used to like talking about sci-fi things in like on the screen. So when they talked about like the space travel part in The Long Way to Small Angry Planet, I was really interested in seeing how it works in this universe. I've heard it's a very character-driven story, and so far I'm not liking the characters. They remind me a lot of the characters in the Lunar Chronicles. And the Lunar Chronicles, the characters are a bit fluffy, and I don't like that about them. I like the Lunar Chronicles, mind you. I was able to look past the fluffiness of the characters, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do the same thing in this series. So it's Friday, March 29th. I've been listening to the audiobook for The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet pretty much all day. I've also been reading Ship of Destiny, but I'm vlogging Ship of Destiny separately. So far, I'm liking The Long Way to Small Angry Planet. Not as much as I wanted to, but I am liking it. I just think the characters are a little fluffy, but I do like the world building elements that it has. So I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping that it gets better though. I'm hoping the plot gets better. It felt like it was starting to get better like right when I stopped listening to it last. So I think that it will. I realize that tomorrow I probably won't have a lot of time to vlog. I will vlog through Sunday. I might not have a whole lot of time tomorrow to vlog. So I wanted to do the wrapped book today. That way I can get to it starting on Sunday without having to wait till Sunday night to unwrap the book. So I'll have more time to get to it. This past week has been a bit of a failure with the unwrapped books because I DNF'd it pretty early. Like I wasn't interested in reading it, and I decided to unhaul that one, which was The Ring and the Crown by Melissa De La Cruz. I'm hoping that this one turns out better than that one did. So let's see what it is. So I got The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba and Brian Mueller. This is actually a book that I got freshman year of college. It was like the class book that we were all supposed to read together. No one read it. It's a nonfiction book about a boy in Africa who builds a wind turbine, creates electricity in Africa, like in the middle of the desert in Africa. I think it's desert, might not be desert. In the middle of nowhere in Africa. So it's definitely interesting, and I believe there's a movie of this one coming out, or has had a movie come out. Maybe a Netflix adaptation? I'm not sure. I've been a lot better at reading nonfiction now than I was back then, and it's an interesting story, so I think I will end up liking this one. I might get the audiobook for it if I have the audiobook available at my library, mostly because I prefer listening to nonfiction audiobooks than reading the physical books. I just like listening to the audiobooks more, so I think I might do that, but I'm kind of interested in it. I think it could be a very interesting story. I'm somewhat excited for it, but I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see how it goes. So it's Monday, April 1st. I meant to finish the vlog off yesterday, but I was trying to finish editing my March wrap-up and it just was not happening. My computer just kept saying, there's no space for this, there's no space for this, and like it would not export the video. I finally got it finished this morning, so like we're good to go. It's being uploaded right now. I'm so excited for it. But in the 2 days since I filmed my March reading wrap-up, I've actually finished 3 books. They're all audiobooks, by the way, so like it wasn't like I spent the whole time reading. Most of the time I was just like listening to audiobooks. I was doing other things. The first one is The Long Way to the Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I haven't been very positive about this book while I was vlogging, but I did spend the last 2 days while I was not vlogging listening to the book, and I did really enjoy it. It is a very character-focused book. There's not a whole lot of plot to it, but I like character-driven books sometimes, and I know I was saying I didn't like the characters. It turns out I really only didn't like one character, Kizzy. I really was annoyed by Kizzy. I liked all the other characters, and I liked some of the relationships that were occurring in this book. I also really like the world building, or I guess universe building, that occurs in this series, so I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I will definitely be moving on to the second book in the series, A Closed and Common Orbit. I just put it on hold in my library, so I should be getting the audiobook within the month, so I should probably get to that in the month of April. The next book I finished is The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba. This is a nonfiction book about a African boy builds a wind turbine basically to bring electricity to his parents' house, and this is very interesting. Like, I like nonfiction, don't get me wrong, but I don't expect to like be really engrossed in a nonfiction story, and I was really engrossed in this one. It talks about like magic and stuff like that too, because they believe in magic versus science, and it's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. I didn't really know what to expect going into this one. This was my wrapped book for the first week of April, so like I finished it before the first week of April. I started it on Sunday, so it wasn't like I started it early. I started it and finished it on Sunday. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars also. The next book I finished is Gregor and the Marks of Secret by Suzanne Collins. This is the 4th book in the Underland Chronicles. So I was listening to this about half an hour a night. I listened to about like an hour last night, not only half an hour. So I ended up finishing it. I really enjoyed it. I'm so excited for the next one. Like, I had a really hard time not moving on to the next one as I was going to sleep last night, but it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, I need to sleep. Part of the problem with doing rereads as like my sleep time audiobooks, because a lot of times I don't actually fall asleep, which is bad because I'm just so into the story. Really enjoyed it. So excited to move on to the next one. The next one is my favorite in the series, so yeah, I might not get much sleep tonight either just because of that, but I will try and get some sleep, and really loved it, and I ended up giving it 5 stars, of course. I won't talk too much about the other books that I read this week because my March reading wrap-up is gonna come out before this, so you guys can see all of those books in my reading wrap-up, but I did finish 11 books this week, which is a lot. I mean, 8 days. I am counting Sunday in there, but still, 11 books is a lot. I finished the first 4 novels in the Underland Chronicles, which I was just talking about. Finished China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. I read Children of Blood and Bone by Tony Adeyemi, as well as the first 2 novels in the Folk of the Air trilogy, which are The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King by Holly Black. I also finished Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I finished Taliban's War by James S.A. Corey, and obviously also The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by William Kamkwamba. So I had really great reading week. Most of it was audiobooks, but at the same time, really great reading week. Really enjoyed it. I'm so excited for April. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.